Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with the halachot of Shema Hamita. When a person comes to sleep, he has to make the Beracha of HAMAPIL b'Shem Malchut. What does that mean with the name of Hashem? And he says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, Ampil chavel hashana me'enai u'numal avavpai. And the entire nusach, which is brought down in the Sidurim, the Ashkenazim, actually have a different nusach. And each person, they continue with their nusach. Everyone has their own little nuances, the differences. Now, when we are making the Beracha of HAMAPIL, it has to be close to the time of when he's going to sleep, which means that he doesn't have to actually make the Beracha when he's in his bed, right? And all the more so until he sees that he's actually sleeping. But the opposite, he says, if he's going to wait until he might actually fall asleep without the Beracha or in the middle of the Beracha. So therefore, he's making the Beracha before going to sleep. However, but there should not be a hefsek, which means that you're not supposed to make any interruption beforehand. So therefore, right now, if you already know that you're going to be doing, whether it's going to be eating, whether it's going to be doing other things, so first what you do is you do your necessities, and only afterwards, when you're close to coming to go to sleep, that's when you're going to make the Beracha. Now, you don't have to suspect that maybe afterwards you're not going to fall asleep, and then the Beracha is going to be Beracha L'Vatala, for two reasons, right? One, he says, is that the entire concept of HAMAPIL is actually a birkat hoda'ah on the nature of going to sleep, right? And it's birkat shevach, which means you're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu and you're praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu that a person must sleep, and therefore, since it's nature that everyone has to sleep and if it's impossible to survive without sleeping, so therefore, even if a person did not sleep immediately afterwards, it's not considered a beracha levatala. Now, the same reason applies that we just said right now that a person has to come and try to do it the last thing, which means that if you already know that you have to take care of your kids or you have to do a certain thing, so first you're doing all those things, and the last thing is going to be the Beracha of HAMAPIL. But after saying the HAMAPIL, right, a person shouldn't lichatechila come, and whether it's going to be to drink, to eat, to speak, in order that he should go to fall asleep with the Birkat HAMAPIL or with Divrei Torah. However, though, if a person did make a hefsek, again, as we already just mentioned, since it is Birkat HaShevach, so b'diavad there's no problem. And because of that, if a person, he said HAMAPIL, and all of a sudden, now he's very, very thirsty. So he's allowed to get up and go get a drink. He makes a beracha. All of a sudden, the children start crying. So he's allowed to do all these things. Why? Because once he made the beracha al da'at, meaning with the knowledge that he wanted to go to sleep, even if afterwards it did not actually occur, so therefore it's still going to be permitted, as we already just mentioned, right beforehand. Now, the same halacha applies if he would go to the washroom and he needs to do his necessities. The same thing, and he will make a beracha of Hashir Yatzar, or he realized he forgot Sefirat HaOmer, he forgot Birkat Levana. In all these circumstances, he's allowed to get up, to make the beracha, or to do the berachot, and then afterwards to come back. Now, if a person realizes that after the HAMAPIL he still cannot sleep, so then, as we already mentioned the other day, what does he do? He's going to read Kriyat Shema a few times, or Ana Vechoach, or he's going to think of Divrei Torah, and with that way, at least he's falling asleep with Divrei Torah in order to continue the night. B'ezrat Hashem, tomorrow we will speak about HAMAPIL after Chatzot, because we're going to realize there's going to be a machloket, whether it's between the poskim, whether it's with the Kabbalah, and so on and so forth, with regards to, do you say the Beracha of HAMAPIL if you go to sleep after Chatzot?